Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Groth here with the Growth-Minded Contractor Show. I'm super excited to hang with you. The world of AI, it is here, and it is here in a big way. Earlier this year, I was at the Pantheon event, which is Service Titan's large event, and I saw AI tools popping up, booths everywhere. And one of those that didn't have a booth yet because they don't even need one because the referrals are coming in so hot is our guest that I'm going to be introducing here. But guys, AI is here and it's changing everything, and it's amazing. I think that what's cool is if you want to grow as a growth-minded owner and contractor, and those who are listening, you have to kind of get out of what your little comfortable box. And I think that you just start to take steps. And I think just like anything, you realize, man, like I can do this. Like I can learn this. I can be acquainted with this. I could start engaging this. And what's wild is that today's age, it's just faster and easier than ever. And on the AI frontier, leading that, and one of the leaders in that is somebody who was introduced to me by a mutual client, a highly respected operator in the Midwest. And I was at the Pantheon event, and this gentleman was like, "Hey, Ryan, I want to introduce you to somebody. And this is Melisa, CEO of NETIC." And so we had a chat, and I was like, "Yeah, let's talk more. Let's get you on the show. Let's figure some stuff out." Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Melisa Tokmak, an AI revenue engine for enterprise grade and high growth home services businesses. Welcome to the show, Melisa. What's up?
Thanks so much for having me, Ryan. It's amazing to see you again. And, yeah, exactly. It's when I met you, the other side of that was the same gentleman was to me, meet another entrepreneur who built great advice for this industry and actually have been
Yeah.
rolling it out across the board. So I'm very happy to be here. Hopefully we'll dig
Yeah.
in to every part of AI that people are curious about.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, can you describe you're out of San Francisco, you got 30 employees, you've been doing this for 2 years. Customers love you. You're focusing on solving problems. You're not building this big sales engine. You're focusing on product, and making the lives of your customers better. Can you describe a bit about what Netic is and just the journey of 2 years ago? How did you get here and what did you start and what are we doing today?
Yeah. So NETIC, you described it perfectly, is an AI revenue engine for enterprises and essential services. What do we mean with that, right? We want to give these enterprises an autonomous enterprise to literally automate their interactions with the customers that are revenue generating. All these businesses have the problem of not being able to address the leads as fast enough and
Mhm.
capture them. And then when the leads don't come, to generate new leads without scaling only with humans, right? I think you were mentioning about this in your bio. A lot of these businesses are true entrepreneurs that built their companies from genuinely nothing. The margins are thin and they have to serve their communities. Leads may be constantly coming in, but with volatility, right? So you can't really invest in your teams for the max season or max volume, all the while, right? Like really addressing and trying to have a profitable business that is focused on growth. So what we do is we use AI to help you, one, handle all of your inbound autonomously from all channels. So these can be calls, texts, online widgets, and chats, and third party aggregators, because you shouldn't worry about responding to that quickly, right? AI can really help you with that. But also, when you don't have enough leads, we help you turn these into autonomous outbound, right? And really generate leads based on real need and signals that we collect for you. And this is a full compounding value that's bringing you basically more revenue by focusing on growth, right?
Uh-huh.
I ended up in this business, started Netic about 2 years ago, and we have been growing real fast from there. I'm actually wearing, this is my necklace. I'll tell you the secrets. It's a hockey stick. It's after Netic's
Oh, nice.
growth. But actually, funnily enough, I'm not new to startups or AI at all. I have been working on and building in AI for about 10 years. I think there's a lot of tourism in AI at the moment because it became the next hot thing to build. But it's very important actually when we're serving these industries. all of my team comes from actually AI. They have been building on it for multiple years, right? And actually deploying it to the real world versus just experimenting. And before this, I was at a company called Scale AI, which is one of the largest AI companies in the world. I joined very early and built their government and enterprise business units from ground up. So all of our AI applications that were deployed to the real world. But actually, I ended up building NETIC. One part is obviously my love for building AI for the real industries, but also the second part was that I became a customer of home services. And the
Mm.
experience I went through was pretty bad, whether you were engaging with, smaller companies that are more community oriented or bigger companies that are private equity owned. As a customer, I felt not taken care of. So that's how I decided to build NETIC and really change the experience I had, but for millions across North America.
Love that. That's really cool. What a privilege to have someone with that kind of background in our industry serving us. And it's really cool to hear. That's awesome. So, outbound is interesting. I love to hear that because outbound is something people struggle with too. Are you talking about cold outbound, like with people who don't know who you are and you're reaching out to them because maybe they were searching the internet for something that they serve and they reach out for the company? Like, is that what you mean by outbound?
No, actually, we first focus on outbound on the people that you may know, whether they're active or inactive. But actually, you're touching upon a good point, right? Let's break it down. What does outbound really look like, right? In the beginning, there's a customer cycle for you. Number one is that people don't know you. Who don't know you? How do they know about you? Here, you want to invest a little bit more about one, brand awareness. These are the things about your communities. Should you be known? Why should people trust you? All of you are actually getting something done very personal to the customers. They're allowing you in their homes, they're allowing you around their homes. So, how should you be known in the community? This can be things like both brand awareness campaigns from ads or community events, different types of sponsorships that you're doing. We actually help companies there, but we don't have anything there. And then second is actually the third party aggregators, right? This is the part that you are reaching out to people you don't know, but with a clear message because you
Hmm.
know things about them, even though you may not know them. Here is you're going to use ad sources like Google or Angie's and Thumbtack, Yelp across the board. Where we come in here is that you might be advertising there, we are connected to them natively. So if somebody comes in from there, that you can actually respond not only immediately, but also taking into consideration the information they already submitted. So
Okay.
instead of restarting with them, you refer to Melissa and where she lives and what everything I have said. So not only I have confidence in you, but today we see about median 4 or 5 messages that it takes just to book someone that comes from the lead aggregators, which is unheard of before, right? That's the second part. We really help there with more inbound products with the connection. But then third is really people you may know. Either they're active customers or they are not active customers. They have
Yeah.
never been active customers. You turn that around with outbound campaigns, utilizing really the information you may know about them or about where they are, right? To make it relevant to them in your communication. So
Hmm.
this is very important because no one responds to generic messages,
Yeah.
right? So and no one, especially in these industries, no one buys based on random promos. Your essential service. Everybody buys in essential services by needing something. It's not
Mm.
like, advertising a blue blazer versus a black blazer. It's just you're appealing to something else versus it's more about me knowing that I'm actually in San Francisco and the weather is much hotter than it has been around November at this time. And most likely, I'm not thinking about my HVAC yet. I'm actually thinking more about cooling still, even though about 2 hours north would be completely different, maybe on the coast, right? So, utilizing that real time dynamic data, we help you spot need and reach out to customers with things that are relevant and essential to them. And you
Mhm.
can do this from different channels, like you brought up calls. Actually, the best performing channels are texts. You can do calls as well, but in today's world, a lot of people do not answer their calls. And at the same time, they're different requirements in terms of talking about it's an AI call earlier, which makes the experience a bit more non-native. On the other hand, people do respond to their messages and they can respond to them at any time of the day. So we really start with our customers on a lot of the text integration. And then obviously when the customer responds, you don't need humans because the whole interaction is done with AI. So you're saving there as well in terms of being able to respond to the customer immediately when they are ready, not when you want to talk to them, when the customer is ready. And you said something, early on when you were introducing me, and hopefully that's coming through. It's all about the customer. We're very product obsessed, but we're actually very aligned for our partner, like customers. And this is something I tell them when they're getting on NETIC. At times, when I tell you no, it will be because we are here for your customer. We both serve your customer, even though you're my customer, right? So, like always, we must be obsessed about the end customer experience
Yeah.
and understanding the need.
Love that. That's what matters. I mean, you could sell, you can market all day long, but if you don't have the product, the product's not serving the customer, it's gonna be negative. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
you're
bad.
probably getting all these emails constantly, right? It happens every industry, tech, like home services, anyone. I'm sure so many software, even providers, doesn't have to be AI, reaching out to you with random message. I get hundreds of them on a
Mhm,
given daily, and it's nothing. Most of them don't include anything I need, right? So they're not thinking like what I would need as the
mhm.
CEO of this company and right, what are my pain points? That what we try to achieve with our customers is that how do we predict their customers' needs?
So you'll handle inbound and autonomously, and then you're taking existing data in their field service management or their CRM tool, their ERP tool, and you're using AI to reach out intelligently about their needs. And then these outbound campaigns, but they're already in the database. It's not like you're going cold straight out into the homeowner network or this neighborhood over there, but you're nurturing, you're farming these database in an intelligent way, not a spammy way, not a generic way. You're helping capture the
Yeah.
dollars they've spent, the brand that they've already created that's generated that interest from times past, and helping those become customers
And
in a very,
actually,
customer centric message in a way.
exactly. And I'll give you some examples. You mentioned a word that I love, nurturing. That's correct. But many times it's also reactivation, right?
Yeah, it's a
Because a
good.
lot of the people, nurturing is great. Why is let's go through the steps together because your existing customer base that continues to use you is your biggest asset. In a market where ads are getting constantly expensive, search behavior of the consumers are shifting now from things like, browser search to things like Chat GPT, right?
Mhm.
So your brand and actually nurturing your customers, your biggest asset because you want them to talk about you organically. That's
Yeah.
what brings you up in both traditional search engines, but also now engines like Chat GPT where people are doing AI search, right? So nurture is very important. And people like to be, really cared for. But also, there's a lot of reactivation. Not everybody in your database is actually actively using you, probably even forgot about you. What do you do about them? That's almost like reaching out to someone you don't know, right? So you might have their information, but you don't know and you haven't earned their trust yet.
Mm.
In that case, that dynamic information becomes very important. For example, we see our customers running incredible campaigns. Someone in the Midwest, really before tornadoes came in, right? Really ran an amazing campaign to reach out to folks in potentially affected areas and talked about generators. Because guess what? Nobody wants to lose electricity next week when the tornado is going to come and they're not going to be able to work from home. And that's not okay, right? But
Yeah.
actually, being able to predict that need and carry out the task, right? Without relying on your call center because they're already really busy is the key. So
Do
that
you
would
think
be the
do you think
reactivation.
call centers go away with Netic? Do you think
Yeah.
that yeah.
No, we would never imagine that you're not going to have any call center. We actually do have customers. Now, I think 40% of customers have brands or regions that are going AI first, believe it or not.
Okay.
But the goal is never removing call center, because I think the goal is how can you invest in a call center that's filled with your best performers, right? And they're really tackling interactions that truly need human interaction versus constantly being with their hair on fire, right? They can't get to
What's
anywhere.
the threshold that, like, this needs a human? Where
Very
does
good question.
AI
Yeah.
say, "We're limited, we need this person doing
Yeah.
their job"?
We actually, we're an AI company and we automate all these interactions, but we quite often also invest a lot in the tools that make that collaboration between call center and AI really smooth and easy. Many times, call centers are our literally best friends and the groups that we work closest with in the company. And where does that come from? So there are three ways. One, the company can set certain transfer rules, right? It might be that you're actually exploring a few different areas. You don't really serve those, but you don't want to miss them because your management is going to make a decision. That's okay. Even if AI can handle it, you can actually say, please transfer XYZ. Two is a customer might be able to ask for a human. We would never push down any customer's throats that no, you only need to
Mm,
engage
yeah.
with AI. If they actually want to talk to a human and it is available, we will help them always. But what we are going to do is we're going to learn about why they may need human so we can actually route you to the right person. Is it Ryan you need to speak to in the billing department? Or is it actually Melissa, who's more in the field operations department because it's about a recall, right? To do is really understand and carry over information that is being built so that we enable the humans that will take that over with the best context and to build that rapport. So there is no AI world. There's no human world. As you implement AI, you also need to start thinking of them fused, right? Because
Mm.
that's the key thing where the whole point is how can you have a customer journey that's smooth, that gets them to what they need immediately with the best quality of service. And that will require humans sometimes, but it will require that smooth transition and connection with AI and human.
Are you saying that AI is learning as those interactions are occurring, and are you finding that the routing to humans is happening in the scenarios where it's AI first, let's say, in those
Uh-huh.
companies, AI first, and then now there's a scenario where they're speaking to a human. Is it most of those cases because someone's like, "I wanna speak to a human," and
Yeah.
that's really the when it happens? Or is there like AI is like, "Wait, wait, wait, I don't know what to do here. We need a human," and
Yeah.
it's not because they asked it, it's because AI is recognizing that it needs a human.
Yeah, it's never that. So it's both. They can ask for it, and also AI can recognize that I need a human because there are certain connections that don't exist. But it's never because like AI is nervous and can't handle something.
Yeah.
For example, it might be that AI is not going to take credit card information over the phone. So if
Okay.
someone is trying to, let's say, actually pay it over the phone, unless the company has a secure system to pay it on a portal that we have integrated with. For example, AI would rightly so to say, let me get you a team member that can assist you right
Yeah.
now, right? With that,
Yeah.
that's one example. It might be, another good example. So you're giving your address, let's say. But that address is not validated in any nationally recognized areas. It's actually an incorrect address, right? But you're really insisting that is the correct address, right? We
Yeah.
would definitely say, okay, no problem at all. Let us get you help, right? Many times, even though a human can assist, it's the same. Actually, it is the wrong address. It's just sometimes, humans insist that they know their address, but there's different differences with counties, etc. These are some examples, but yes, we
Okay.
only escalate when AI recognizes it
That's
needs a
cool.
human.
Fun. All right, this should be a short one. I don't know if it's gonna be short, but why NETIC? What does it mean? Why'd you name it NETIC?
Yeah, it comes from cybernetic. That's how
Okay.
I incorporated the company. That's actually from philosophy that I deeply respect, and it's about the knowledge, information between humans and machines, and how to treat that information. So I'm building this company truly to solve something that the real industry needs, and again,
Mm.
between and and machines. So that's how I incorporated, but it's a mouthful to say cybernetic every time people talk about you. So we went for our product name became NETIC of cybernetic.
So if I were to look up cybernetic philosophy, it would show there would be
Yeah,
like
sure.
some author who has a philosophy around this relationship between humans and machines.
Exactly. So it's actually, we can even, I'm helping you. It would be examining the systems of control, communication, and feedback, applying principles from cybernetics to understand the relationships between humans, machines, and nature. Yeah, I mean, I think, when you're a founder, and you'll know this and hopefully resonate with it, you built something for life, right? You're giving this beyond anybody that gives you something. It could be your investors for money, your customers that are working with you. Hopefully, you're working with a founder that is giving their life to what they build. So I think what it's called is pretty important. And for me, maybe this is going to be a quick segue, but I actually grew up in a completely different environment where it was focused more on humans. And when I got the opportunity to come here and learn about computers, I was fascinated
Hmm.
about that exchange of information and control between humans and machines. So I wanted to name my company after that. I am from actually a tiny town in Turkey,
Oh,
and I
wow.
only made it here. I think I didn't have a computer until end of high school. And
Wow.
I only got into AI and computers because by the virtue of luck and a lot of hard work, obviously, I got a full ride to Stanford. So that's when I
Wow.
moved to the US and started learning about computers and became fascinated about that relationship between humans and machines. And here we go.
Wow, that's so fun. Super fun. I'm seeing some of this category of AI, like, RevOps, or described as other by others as AI agents. And there's like little personas for the different functions. Do you guys have like a name for different functions, like a person, like you personify the agent? Does the company do that for themselves? Like how do you guys go about kind of the architecture and the way you platform works with a home service company or
Yeah.
a central service company? Is it just, hey, this is Netiq in action, or is it this is, Ed or Susie? Just
Yeah.
curious, as I'm seeing that happen, I'm noticing some of these trends like that, and I'm wondering if that's how you guys go about it.
Yeah. When you have personified agents, let's say, Paul only does, welcoming the customer, and then Sally will take their information, and Nick is a follow up agent.
Mhm.
That's usually more self serve products, like meaning a company comes in and they know one area they need help in, and then they will deploy that agent and it will only do that. Like it cannot
Okay.
do anything else. And then you'll need to bring in humans or something else, enact to something else. We don't work that way. As you were saying, we only work with enterprises, right, that are truly treating us like their AI partner. So when you come in, there is no personified netic agents. There's a netic agent, right? And it can do everything. There is
One
no
agent does it all.
yeah, and you don't have to really do now it has to hand off to this person after doing the follow up and that's it. No, it's actually where your AI partner connecting different parts of your company and
Mm,
making sure you have an end to end process. That's actually very important not to break the customer journey, right? Not to result in these like bad experiences like the ones I went through with my house that pushed me to build this company. But you
mhm,
can still set, obviously, like you have a brand. So when you onboard with us, you can pick your voice, you can pick your name, you can pick your style, we call that. So those are the three aspects of
mm,
giving your brand awareness. Many times, a lot of the companies we work with more go with a matter of fact style that is kind, but pretty professional. But we'll show you different options in
mm.
that case when you're onboarding with us.
That's super interesting, and it makes me wonder, like, what are the pretenders versus the real players? I'm curious for my own interest too. Like, you can go on the internet. There's certain sites you can start building an app on their site. Like, it's
Yeah.
the technology to teach that enables you to not know how to write code and to build a product. And so you mentioned before our call that you would never send that to production, but yet your engineers may use a tool like that to, like, quickly put together a concept and then maybe what do they do with that? Do they look at the
Yeah.
back end code and then they say we can build this now that we've like sketched it, or like it's like a sketch versus a real
Yeah.
thing? Do you think there's companies actually deploying
Of
products
course.
that are built
Of
from
course.
those tools out to production? And I'm just curious, like
Unfortunately.
wondering, yeah, yeah,
Unfortunately, you're touching upon a great thing here because it also became very difficult for companies to find great products. Why? AI made it very easy to demo something. AI made it very easy to generate more vaporwares. That's what we call it in Silicon Valley, rather
okay,
than real products that can work end to end. And that's very difficult because these solutions like flood the market, right? Then when you think about a company who doesn't have a lot of bandwidth, doesn't know really what to try with. Am I going to invest 2, 3 months making this work? So that's a little dangerous. So that's why it's important to do your homework, right? So I told you, yes, you were right before we were getting on, I would never deploy that code in production. Today, actually, we're a very engineering and AI first company. That's why you were also saying, right? Like we didn't have a booth. That's correct. We don't really want to invest in sales or marketing. We want to invest in engineering and AI. If we are building the right thing, customers will come. They did. They're enjoying it. They're seeing the ROI, and then they're even telling like their friends in very competitive environments, actually, right? Like because they know we have given them our best. So what do these tools help with, though? So I'm going to separate them. We're going to talk about maybe vibe coding, which would be the things that you're really generating with code easily, right? You can build some applications, etc. They're not used by our engineers today. If anything, they were the biggest gift to our designers and
okay.
product people. Because now I tell them, right, do not come to me with that, mock it up already. Treat me like a user. And when you come to me with ideas or suggestions, I want to be able to use it right now, right? And then I will tell you, I will give you feedback. So they will actually, it doesn't have to work. They will spin that up, show me, will think like the customer, will go with that and ask for advice from our existing customers. So they were the holy grail products for our design and product people,
So
right?
vibe coding is very, very helpful, not for production, but to save the research and development, a lot of time, a lot of money on that.
Exactly.
Because I mean, otherwise, that coder is not putting production
And
product out.
communication.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he or
Instead
she
of
is
trying to communicate like, on with words, or you're trying to explain on, whiteboard or paper, right? Hey, this is the experience. Let's talk,
or like a
right?
Google slide with like a arrow pointing saying this is supposed to do this. Yeah,
PowerPoint, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No, but then there's also the new grade of products, right? We call code generation. They're not, you can use them for vibe coding, but the first part I was talking more products, where you can build applications easy for sketching. You can also have different products like Cursor, etc., to generate code. And engineering teams will use these products, but more for actually spotting potential issues and to accelerate your typing versus write the code for you. And then ship it to production. So it might be like, hey, alerting you actually, forgot to tie it to this other variable in a different place. Or did you mean to do this? Like, can I autocomplete? So you're trying to, we only hire 100x engineers, and you can maybe use these type of products to make them 1,000x engineers, right? Because they're now faster. And you were asking me, for all the ways that I'm hearing about you, you're still pretty small, nimble team. Yeah, exactly. I think we do want to stay nimble because we don't want to lose our touch from the product, from the
Mhm.
customer, but we need to be able to even build the right things and ship faster. So it's okay to use good tools to accelerate you, but never to ship code from those type of solutions to production without an engineer
Do
writing.
you think that's happening out in the AI space? Like
Of
those,
course. Yeah.
and what
Of
could go
course.
wrong? What could go wrong for
Uh,
that? It's just
I
not
mean,
strong enough,
it
not
won't
good
work.
enough code. It's like there's not an integrity in the code. It's not like not tested enough. Like what is
No,
it?
it's more about functionality, right? So at the end, like the reason we have this much rigor, right? I am company's AI revenue engine, right? I am like a utility to companies. So I need to make sure we don't go down. We function correctly every time. And we, on top of it, we even give them good ideas on how else to optimize. So you wouldn't want your water to cut off, would you? So like the
Yeah,
integrity matters in terms of the
I'm
functionality in the
hearing you
market.
say it. It's like I'm just trying to put it into my words, like simpler. Like I'm not as educated as you. You're
Oh,
amazing.
no, come
But
on.
like I'm thinking about it. It's like, all right, well, I can give you a product and it may work, but you're like a contractor who's like, I would never put that product on. I only put on this because I put my name on this and it has to be the best and it has to work,
Yes.
right? So you're like, hey, it could work. It's not like it won't do the thing, but it's just cheap. It's like going to
Yep.
Walmart versus going to Restoration Hardware to buy your furniture, you know?
Yeah, but many times it won't work. It's like, think about you got something from Walmart and that chair collapsed.
Yeah, it won't even
And like
work.
when you needed it, you had a Thanksgiving dinner and you have 12 chairs from Walmart. And instead of Restoration Hardware, seven of them broke when people sat down for the turkey, right?
Right.
And same with your contractors. Like, think about how much they think about what to sell in equipment because you're going, right? When I was changing my HVAC system that introduced me to the problems of this industry, the person I talked to like gave me his word, right? This is going to work in these manners because we have been deploying this for a long time. And if it doesn't, I will come back and fix it for you. Right? That's that trust. It's the same thing in other areas that you're using with your customers. Certainly that's similar to the
I mean,
equipment you would
you're saying
deploy
I'm
in a
gonna
house.
like I'm a $200 million contractor with 4 locations. I want you to trust me with my AI. It better be really good.
Exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly. And we say also talk to, I mean, just like how you got to know me, right? A lot of the times our customers actually get to know us from other customers. And we're very honest too. We'll be like, hey, XYZ will take time, or here, this didn't work because, right? If it is on us, we'll take responsibility, but it will also give you advice about what might need to change in your business. We're looking for that partnership.
So I have some like deeper questions, and I'm like I know my audience is gonna appreciate it, but I'm actually really
Yeah.
interested. What kind of code are you guys using, if you're allowed to share? And like, does that ever? Are you concerned it'll like not last, or like, and how many? And what are some
What do you mean?
types of code? Like, I guess I don't know if you've heard. I mean, I've been in software a little bit, but they would say, yeah, like they're written on this ancient code, and like it
Oh,
would
I
cost
see.
millions to rebuild it, right, or something like that, or they can't they build on old, and then they have some new stitched together code on top of the old.
Yeah.
And I guess my question directly is, what kind of code do you guys use, and what would be like concerning if a contractor was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, AI agent, revenue engine company that's not NETIC, what do you guys write your code on?" If they were savvy enough to ask that,
Yeah.
what would you be like, "Scary, don't do that." Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that wouldn't give a good signal because a lot of the modern companies you work with will use more modern coding language and that doesn't change much, right? Like it will be on JavaScript or Python, etc. That doesn't really give you any signal. So versus like very maybe it would give you signal on more incumbents, like very large companies that claim to have AI and they have
Okay.
built their systems on pretty old school like tools and, code and they have to even modernize their system. That's different. But unfortunately, in the new world, that won't help you much. What would help you much is that ask, am I seeing a demo? Why? Can you show me what's deployed already? Who can I talk to from the people you deployed for? Right? The best thing that will probably help you is that remember what I was saying with AI, it became so easy to make demos. Today, I can like create demos for you on my phone, no code needed from different apps. So what you ask, I think, when you meet with companies is that is this a demo? Is this connected to anything on the back end to real data? Or is it fake? Right? So show me something real. It's very easy now to even show you if we are having call interactions, right? We can just blind that call. So it would remove every type of personal information. They don't need to hear the personal information, but they would see this company is rolling out and deploying in real players and actually showing ROI, the return on investment. And then I would do other things. Share with me the aggregate metrics. What kind of results are you seeing? Show me. And what is contributing to these results? Have you seen companies that maybe were outliers to these results? And why, right? Because not everybody is the same. It's okay to have outliers, but tell me why. right? So these type of, I think, questions will help you
So
pick
don't
the
it's
better
not really
play.
about the code they're writing it on other than
It's not
vibe,
about the language. Yeah. I think the last 10 years, everybody will pretty much like will use more
yeah,
modern coding languages, right?
which are Python or whatever you
Yeah,
said a couple.
JavaScript, like it's across the board. So it won't really give you any signal. Yeah.
Right.
The other thing maybe you could look at more the quality of their team members. You could look at that, right? Like,
Yeah.
is this where are
So
they
so
coming
yeah,
from?
like, let me ask about that. Offshore versus, local, stateside, United States engineers. Do you have anything to share about that? Like, and just in general,
Yeah.
would you have any commentary there?
Definitely. I mean, first of all, we're building for the industries that are the backbone of American economy. We're building
Mm,
that with everybody in America. We actually go even further. We're fully in San Francisco and in one office. I'm calling you from our office so that everybody can really talk. Hey, we need to solve this now. This is how we need to do it. There's one person that is in Dallas, and she is so incredible that she deserved that exception because she actually joined us from our first ever customer. She was the VP
oh,
of
wow.
customer experience after rolling out NETIC for many months. She was moving states from her job and
Oh,
she joined. So, like, that's the only exception we did, but we are all in San Francisco together. So,
it's like,
definitely
"Hey, we serve
onshore.
America. Hey, Americans, we are here." Like, there's something to that.
And also, why not? Hey, like, look at me. It's everywhere from world. We come to America because the best
Yeah.
education and the opportunity is here. Like, I don't understand, I certainly did that. And I'm so lucky to be part of this country, like, who gave me the opportunity for my
Mhm.
hard work. But if that's already happening in education level in college, like the best of the AI talent is actually here. Believe it or not, with some of the, as you know, right, world's model providers as well, really the AI model providers from OpenAI, Anthropic, different Cortesia, 11 Labs, they'll be all here, like OpenAI, right? So they are maybe 10, 15 minutes away from us. So when there's an issue and we want to brainstorm, I literally reach out, right? The product leads and like the GMs that are both our friends and our collaborators. Hey, we're coming to your office, or can you come to our office? We have feedback for the things we're using. So you need to help us. And that's very important to be able to do that, not within your team, but
Yeah.
also with others that you're relying on. Technology doesn't exist solely individually on one company. You are and you must rely on others. And best you can hope is that they have also these you work with, not the hope that you choose the companies you work with to have this type of customer obsession that they will come to your office.
Yeah. That's fun.
It
Uh,
is. You have to come visit and you'll see the
yeah.
real fun over here.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, this has been great. I definitely am glad we got to spend some time together, and I hope our audience will have a listen to you. When you think about enterprise, what would you say, um, for those who are listening would be like, all right, they're at this level that's probably considered enterprise. We're not ready for this niche. We want to only focus on these. Are
Yeah,
there any that you want to any just I guess describe your ideal client profile right now and just allow
definitely.
the those who might listen. There's like
Our
two of them.
ideal client profile, and I'll explain the why to you too, are people who are really focusing on growth, not only keeping the lights on, right? They are innovative in adapting technology, but also they understand that they have to be a partner in making it work in their own business. And they are in industries like HVAC, plumbing, electric roofing, pest, solar across the board in essential services, right? And they serve large volumes of customers. So, not missing any of them and converting, generating new demand when they don't have it is important to them because they are being hit by different types of volatility. So usually that coincides with people making 7, 10 million or more in a given year. Sometimes it's different. We don't really look at it in terms of those limits. I also personally, please, for your listeners, I am happy to meet anybody. The funnily enough, we actually are high integrity partners that sometimes I'll tell, hey, they're so excited about NETIC. And I'll say, like, are you sure this is what you need? Let's map it out. I think here's how you can start on something it looks like you need it in one workflow. Like NETIC may not be the one for you. And here's an easy way to solve your problem with this type of a person or a $40 subscription from something. I will help them that way, right? Because what's important to me is that this industry, the owners, the CEOs, the GMs are probably the best entrepreneurs that I have met in my life. And I know a lot of
Yeah,
entrepreneurs here
that's
in
cool.
Silicon Valley. And I'll tell you why, because they built from zero and they didn't have the like fake VC, like, like VC money flowing and
Yeah,
like
they
fake
raise a
kind
million
of
bucks.
valuation, right? Like they don't have that, right? So that means they truly need to serve the customer, the community, and they had to be efficient. So what we say, I know that we'll have the best partners in the history of the company if we first and foremost help the people with their needs, even sometimes if that means NETIC is not right for them and they should not pay NETIC, right? That's the mindset we have in here in our team.
Love it. All right, folks. Melisa Tokmak, NETIC, NETIC.ai. NETIC, NETIC.ai. That was a cybernetic conversation. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you
that was
so much
awesome.
for having me, Ryan. I loved
Yeah,
it.
my pleasure. Yeah, I can't wait to share it. Have a great one. Thanks, Melissa.